Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call all Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakahakadash. All right. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. I'd like to also send out salutations to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways. All right. Along with the numerous videos that they post on a daily. All right. That further pushes out this truth across the four corners. So what do we have today? This is Naaman, by the way, with the DC Camp branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is a copyright disclaimer. I couldn't quite help from laughing. You'll see why. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. So as it turns out, no matter what these evil pieces of shit try to do, lately it just tends to backfire, and this is no different. So now they're really pissed off, the Republicans. As you can read, Republicans are flipping out because a judge released the children who punched big balls. Remember, what's going on here in D.C. was precipitated, as some have alleged, by this incident here. All right. This guy, 19 years old, used to work for Doge, all right, allegedly tried to stop someone from being carjacked, and we find out here a little more details about it. Wow.
It's not a shock, it's not a surprise that the Trump taint sweat aficionados are out there on Twitter sounding the alarm about how unbelievable this is. You're going to hear about this story. Donald Trump is certainly going to talk about it. Conservatives are already beside themselves with anger and outrage and grief for Big Balls, the teen who was punched in the face by a 15-year-old girl. And he bled a little bit, as happens when you get punched in the face. But he was not attacked by a roving group of a dozen or more grown men who beat him senseless and merciless. This is just not what happened. The two people who were arrested on the scene were a 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl.
Now you understand why they had to come out with, well, it was a vicious attack by some thugs. No, it was two 15-year-olds, one of which was female. Go figure, right?
Children. Just wanted that on the record. Here's the headline for the Daily Beast. Judge releases teens charged in Big Balls assault in blow to Trump.
Een nieuw seizoen breekt aan in O-Game. Met nog onontdekte universums die wachten om verkenning.
They're losing their minds over.
Yeah, let me see if I can find. Let's see. Let's see. Because the newly appointed prosecutor here, hold on, what is her name? She used to have maybe I'll spell it right. Pierre, what is her name? Let's see if I'll see it. What is her name? Is it Pierre? Wait a minute. Okay. All right, let's see. Because she made this big, right here. Well, this is one of them. That's not. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. When she was newly selected by Trump, this exposes lunacy of D.C. law system. Well, okay. Yeah.
As I told you, if I were a criminal, I would not want her coming after me. I'm talking about
Sorry.
the new U.S.
Hold on.
Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro. And if you do not believe me, here's what I said yesterday on this news program. But I just want to go back to Janine Pirro, who's the U.S. Attorney here, having known her from Fox News forever, and Pam Bondi over at the U.S. Attorney, the United States Attorney General. I just wouldn't mess with either one of those women.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want either one of them on my tail. Go back to former district attorney in Westchester County in New York, former judge in Westchester County, New York, former colleague of mine at the Fox News Channel, and now the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro. Janine, boy, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you, Greta. We have the same memo today on the red jackets. But you're right. We go back a very long time, and both of us have, I think, very similar philosophies about law enforcement and crime in general. But I'm thrilled to be here in the district with you.
I'm thrilled to have you there. And when I said that I wouldn't mess with you, I was serious. You know, frankly, I mean, I don't know if the viewers know, you're a whole lot of fun. You're a whole lot of fun. But you're a very serious prosecutor, and I really wouldn't want you to be chasing me. I really wouldn't.
I appreciate that. You know, we've got a lot of chasing to do here in the District of Columbia. There's a lot of crime here, Greta. And, you know, when the president decided that he wanted to make D.C. safe and beautiful, the agenda was one that was very clear for me. It's going back to my roots as a prosecutor, as a judge, as someone who fights for the victim. And I think that people in D.C. for too long have been victimized by violent crime. They had the fourth highest murder rate in the country last year. I mean, think about that. If D.C. was a state, it would be the most, it would have the highest homicides in the country.
What?
And, you know, the fact that our homicide rate is like many times that of places like Islamabad and Havana, Cuba, and all that is an indication of how dangerous it is here. And I have to tell you, Greta, looking at all of this, I think the D.C. counts.
See, you YNs been trying to tell you for the longest this is going to catch up with you. All right? Tried to tell you. Nobody can tell you anything. All right? See, people like this, with this deep-seated, deep-rooted hatred for our people to begin with, doesn't take much. But I like to direct you to the late 80s, all throughout the 90s. All right, why wasn't the National Guard and all these people you see now brought in to, you know, when the violence was really going heavy? I think we already know that answer. All right, so what happened? What happened here recently? You have a huge amount of gentrification going on here in D.C. right now. All right, and could it be that the violence has spilled over into them folks' community? They're sending a signal that, no, that ain't going to be tolerated. That's all this is. All right? Them folks are now threatened. They're telling you they're the ones and the only ones that matter. All right? As Joe Biden, when he was a senator, in backing his, at the time, latest crime bill, because you have to understand he did it 2 or 3 times during the 70s, and at least once during the 80s. All right. In his speech, he said he don't care how they got that way. All right. He just wants you off the street. Didn't care about the, you know, situation that made you that way. All right. See, these people, in my last video, I brought up the fact of what happened in Utah, all right, with the murder of those 2 police officers, but it was by one of them. So a lot of you probably never even heard about it. But this shit here, and yes, DC, don't get it twisted, all right, yes, it's bad. But bad enough to call in the National Guard from several states along with DCs, and then you have all these alphabet agency law enforcement. Running around here. I just witnessed one today. Bothering homeless Jake. It's overkill, but again, they're stressing a point. For those of you that laughed at the Northern Kingdom, aka the so-called Hispanics, in their situation, not realizing that at the end of the day, we're the same people. And historically, when they went after them first, we got it the worst. Now you're seeing, well, not so much the worst part yet, all right, because they really wanted us out there protesting along with the Northern Kingdom, but not anticipating the bad blood between the two groups, all right. They didn't, I guess, foresee that, and that Jake was just going to sit it out because of that. So now they got a plan B, maybe even plan C. So here comes this woman here, well, I'm going to clean up like she's the new, sheriff, or what she is, technically. All right. In this sense, since DC is, federal. So, being that in your normal circumstance, the sheriff is the only thing mentioned in the Constitution as far as law enforcement. The police department, police chief is appointed and serves at the behest of the mayor, all right. But the sheriff is an elected official, all right. And the chief law enforcement officer in America is, guess who? The Attorney General, not the FBI, the Attorney General. The FBI director serves under the Attorney General, all right. So let's get back to the video.
Has passed laws that are absurd, and for those people who are not from the district, it's like the local state law enforcement and the local law enforcement or representatives of the state legislature, and then you've got the D.C. courts. They are so liberal, they go so beyond what the Supreme Court requires that 2 weeks ago I had a guy who shot another kid on a bus, shot him in the chest. Okay, he was 19 years old. To me, Greta, you shoot someone in the chest, it's the intent to kill. Well, we convicted him of shooting the other kid in the chest. The judge gave him probation and said you should go to college. That's the end of it. This is what I'm dealing with. We get gun possession, gun convictions. The judges won't send him to jail. So we've got to turn everything.
Let me freeze right there, because we've always thought that this was being directed, set up. And lo and behold, there was a case, was it last year or year before last, where out in California, they found out that, and again, it was folks that looked like them, all right, these two women here that were behind those, was it L.A.? I don't even know how to, and you never heard anything else about it. Strange, right? Yeah, they would have pay these guys like Jake, all right, to go around robbing these stores, and it's fucked up, But just like everything else, say you want to solve crime, why don't you go to, hell, your own elected officials are on the take from APAC, all right, and there's these other lobbyists, all right, kickbacks and all this, but no, that's too much like right. Yeah, ain't this some shit.
Around. It's a mentality. Laws have to be changed. Courts have to be changed. It's very bad here in the district, and we're doing everything we can with this surge, working with the Metropolitan Police Department, bringing in all our federal partners, and we've made over 450 arrests, I think.
Yeah, okay. And again, I'm not excusing Jake. Don't, no, hell no. They deserve everything they're getting. All right? Because they're just wild out here. This is, and as much as the NDUB complains, All right, these these how am I gonna put it? These youngins out here, I'll be polite, all right, were raised by what? Single mothers. They thought they could do it all. They were set up and still don't want to accept that fact. All right, that feminist bullshit. They got played. And we all suffered as a result of her arrogance. I'm talking about the black, so-called black woman. All right, so what's coming her way, she deserves. Feel no sympathy one way or the other. All right, so yeah, and there was an incident. I was going to do a video on that, but I might still. You know what? Let me put this on pause. Let's see, bring it up real quick. Hold on, Salakia. All right, put this on pause real quick. All right, I'm back. I just wanted to bring this up real quick. This is again the Philip Scott podcast, and this is what happened. Let's see, let me get the date. Yesterday here in DC, where the police, along with these agents, rode through a community here, and let's see what Jake did. Hold on here.
Now, when Trump and the Republicans, especially Stephen Miller, we talked about him last night, thought that they was going to have black people running for cover and scared, like the immigrants, when ICE show up, they all just taking out and breaking out in the run. That didn't happen. They sent the National Guard out there. Brothers and sisters are out there clowning them. You hear me? Because we don't take them serious. You know why we don't take them serious? Because we've been there, seen this story, and it's really embarrassing, beyond with you, for Trump and them. But I want you to go ahead and watch these clips out of D.C. about how brothers and sisters are just sitting up here just laughing.
It's a TikTok now. Hey, I don't know about in y'all city, but this how they pull up in our city. On a nigga dick. These all police cars, y'all. Look, that's 3. Keep coming. 4, 5, 6.
That was the big line. That's why I said when y'all thought I was just capping. They
always in the back right here, y'all. They always in the back. Bubba, look at Bubba. Hey, Bubba. Little buddy. All night. You got the camera in my mouth. You got the light in my face. What the fuck? We can do this shit all night long. All night. All night. Nah, you just ugly as shit. Why you crying? Why you crying? What's wrong? Well, I ain't do nothing to you. Why you crying? Why you crying? Look at him. Go ahead. Oh, all right. We got you, McGrew.
Gentlemen, up on the sidewalk, please.
I got you, McGrew.
You're missing some.
I got you, McGrew. I'm just fucking with your swag, white shirt. I'm fucking with your swag. Them other niggas be looking all, you know what I'm saying? All stuck up and shit. I'm fucking with your swag. Oh, nah, you gotta get in that gym, twin. That shit ain't nothing. Oh, nah. You gotta get right, twin. And your ponytail little as shit. And you jive flat in the back. Hold, twin. You jive flat in the back. Oh, twin. Get right. Oh, you gotta get right, twin. You gotta do some squats, twin. Yeah, you gotta do some squats, twin. You jive flat as shit. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later, man. Y'all have a nice day, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna see y'all later, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Wait, where the rest of them at? See y'all later, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Suck it easy. Damn, twin, that what you on? Oh, nah, twin, that's a mean joke.
You trying to run a nigga dick over?
Damn. You mad because I told your man he's little butt little as shit? You's a bitch.
Nobody right here. It's nobody in the car. How are y'all just going in people's cars? How are y'all just going in people's cars? Nobody was over here by this car. Nobody was in the car. I got it. I got the key. I got the key. They used the little airbag thing because that's how they went in my car on M Street, and they not supposed to do that. It was nobody over here, nobody in the car, none of that. So how y'all just going in people's cars? Y'all not supposed to just go in people's cars. Nobody was in the car. Nobody was leaning on it, none of that. No, because why are y'all going in the car?
Ladies, back up.
Back up. Okay, back up, y'all. Okay, back up. Okay, don't push me. Okay, don't push me because we didn't touch y'all. Don't push me because we didn't touch y'all. We did not touch y'all. We're trying to figure out why are you guys all going in the car. Nobody touched him, and he's touching people, pushing people.
So as you can see, that lawyers, if they look at some of these videos, they are rubbing their
Anybody else other than me, and the black woman's voice just sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard.
hands together like Birdman. They doing this here about them lawsuits because them cops going in their cars without no search warrant. See, they just didn't ask the right question. They say, hey, where's your search warrant to do that? You got to have a search warrant. You can't just go in our vehicles like that. And anything you find in there, 'cause that's the thing. If they don't have a search warrant and they find anything in your car, any kind of evidence, it's not admissible.
Yeah, that's called, but see, here's the thing with me, and this is just personal with me. Why don't you lock your shit if you're not? Now, I understand that, you know, hey, you're just out and about sometimes, and, you know, but my God, this is called, fruit of the poisonous tree. All right. Simply put, here it is. The fruit of the poisonous tree, let me scroll on down, is a legal metaphor used to describe evidence obtained through illegal means. If the source of the evidence, the tree, is tainted, then any evidence derived from it, the fruit, is also considered tainted and generally inadmissible in court. All right, legal background, origin. The doctrine was first established in the 1920 case Silverthorne Lumber Company v. United States, and the term was popularized by Justice Felix Frankfurter in Nardone v. United States in 1939. The purpose, it aims to deter law enforcement from using illegal methods to gather evidence, reinforcing the protections of the Fourth Amendment, which is protection from illegal search and seizure. All right. So, back to the video. Ooh. Whoops, wrong one, sorry.
But they didn't have a search warrant. No, the cop can't just walk up to your cars and go in them. That's violating all kind of rights. Right? And that video, that last video was the one that really got with me. Is that one. Like, so I guess we just gonna be violating people's rights and they just trying to look for something to lock black people up on. You understand? Well, here's the thing. Contrary to white supremacist belief, we're not criminals. That's why you're not finding anything. Even though you're breaking into black people's cars, you're not finding anything because we're not out here committing crime.
And that was my issue with this. Lock your shit. If it's out there in plain sight, duh, you know. Wow. Let's go back to Mrs. Piero. All right. Where is she at? Right here. Yeah. Yeah, she was that tough, on crime, brought in, and wow. It's
since Thursday, and we've collected or taken 70 guns off the street. That's 70 few weapons that people can use to kill other people.
I think you proved my point why I wouldn't want you after me on a serious note. You recently wrote an
Oh,
op-ed.
she's so
I
tough.
live
She's
here.
badass.
And what you wrote in it is about, we talk about crime, but a lot of this crime is done by very young people who are out of reach of the court
Here it
because
comes.
they're
Here it
not
comes.
adults. And I mean, that's a crisis in the city.
Yeah. It is a crisis. The problem is that we've got 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds who can actually shoot someone with a gun. I could prove it, but I'm not allowed to even arrest or prosecute or convict that person because of the laws in D.C. And, you know, we've got to lower the age of responsibility. You can make it consistent with violent crimes. That would make sense. But right now, you've got a bunch of punks running around, gangs and crews, that have no accountability, no responsibility. They carjack, and they can do it openly, and we cannot arrest them. They go to the state attorney general, and they go to family court, the purpose of which is rehabilitation, ice cream socials, and a few yoga things now and then. And that is not consistent with what we've got to do to clean up this city. They know that they're not going to be arrested. They know that they can actually run around with guns and not be arrested, Greta. This is lunacy here. And what the president is doing, and I got to, yeah.
See?
I was going to say that one of the things I think we got to look.
You YNs out there running around here without a care, all right? What did you think was going to happen eventually? Yeah. So nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You brought this on yourself. All right? And it's way overdue as far as I'm concerned. All right. We just got school, what was the start for here? Next week? All right. Maybe the week after, I'm not sure. Maybe after Labor Day. But anyway, real soon. And people are going to be glad. And that's another thing they're going to be pushing for here is the truancy issue too. All right, so let's get back to here. Now you understand why they're so pissed off with this video here. All right, because the judge let him go.
Over this. And look, did they commit a crime? Yes, it is alleged they've committed a crime. Have they been convicted of a crime? Have they done something that merits perpetual incarceration, confinement, pre-trial, pre-case? I don't think so. They're children, after all. Are we to treat them like hardened serial killers? Come on. There are better ways, more effective ways, more just ways to deal with criminal justice and children. And it is not perpetual confinement. It's not smart. It's not. There's no efficacy in it. It's just. It's the fascist way to deal with things. It's the lower thinker way to deal with things, and that is what Republicans are crying out for. Blood.
Exactly. This is why this guy is in the presidency now. All right, despite him betraying the very people that put him there. But that's their fault because he told you what he was going to do. All right. So you thought it was going to be to hurt only the brown folks and dark brown folks. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
In some cases. A judge rained on Donald Trump's crime crackdown parade when she released from a youth holding facility 2 teens charged in connection with the alleged assault of a former Doge staffer. The teens, a boy and a girl, both 15 and from Maryland, had been held at Washington, D.C.'s Youth Services Center since being charged in an alleged carjacking assault in the city on August 3rd. The case caught Trump's attention, who said the 19-year-old victim, Edward Big Balls Korestein, was beaten mercilessly.
Wow.
Let me tell you, you can always tell the people who have never actually been punched in the face. I have on multiple occasions. It is unpleasant. I have a scar on my lip when I bounced in a bar. and I got punched in the face by a dude, and it split my lip wide open. I got a whole bunch of stitches. That's one of the many times that I've been punched in my dome. I know what it's like. It's unpleasant, but it's not mercilessly beaten. Just because you have a little blood on you, because you got knocked on your sniffer, doesn't mean you were beaten mercilessly. But Joe Biden-appointed judge Kendra Briggs ordered the teens out of a detention and back to their caretakers, imposing conditions that include electronic monitoring, a 24-hour curfew, and no contact with each other, the Washington Post reported, which is what I was just talking about. That you don't use a fascist lens to do these things. You use metered, dispassionate justice. That's a reasonable way to deal with these kids. And then, if they break the rules relative to their curfew or removing their electronic monitoring device, then you can talk about indefinite confinement or whatever other escalation you have to deal with them. But you don't commit a crime having the presumption of innocence and just get thrown away forever. And that's not even speaking about.
But see, this is the thing, and we as a people were given, all right, our own constitution, which is what? These scriptures. All right, and it tells you, this is like a couple of videos now, I've gone back to this, all right, and this was given to us exclusively, not everybody, all right, and as we went away from them, again, the covenant is an agreement, it's a contract, and there are penalties for breach thereof. And that's what we're suffering now. All right, this is Deuteronomy. I'm going to go down here to verse 5. All right, because we were supposed to be that example to the other nations. But as a result, we're on the bottom. And everybody's, mocking us. And, we're in a sad state. And as a result of turning our backs on Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High Yahweh, my God, commanded me, all right, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. This is Moses telling the Israelites, all right, as they came out of Egypt. He says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. But currently everything is flipped on its head, and everybody else wants to adhere to this, even though it's not theirs. And guess who's excluded? Voila! Sunday, the most segregated day in America. Verse 7, for what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Most High Yahweh, our God, is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that hath statutes and judgments so righteous, as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget these things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. And they surely have departed the vast majority of our people. All right. They want to do everything else. They want to be, Muslims, Buddhists, whatever have you, anything, even atheists. All right? They don't want to listen. But that's why we're out here. That's why we're out here per, Ezekiel 2nd and 3rd chapter, right? And it says we're going to encounter stubborn asses, all right? But it tells us what to do in that case, and I encourage you to read this, the first part, but I'm going to go all the way down here to 17. All right, because we're doing what we were called to do. This is a watchman for Israel. All right, that's what we are. It says, verse 16, and it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me, because it tells you in verse 1, let's go on up here, all right, about us eating this roll. The roll is what? These scriptures. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. All right, and he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, not anybody else, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not too many people of a strange language and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. And that's what I was talking about a moment ago when I said everybody else wants this, and it's not theirs. How everything is upside down, it's turned on its head. Yeah. This has nothing to do with any other nation. But because of all the lies and you know, other maneuverings and as such, again, you've got people that the Most High hates pretending to be us over in our land, and everybody bought it because of what? Edomite / white supremacy. It's got to be them. No, that's what you choose to believe. Prophecy wise, no, they don't fit. But we do, like a hand in glove. And that's what frightens these motherfuckers, because Ezekiel 37 is happening right in front of their eyes. All right, bringing both northern and southern kingdoms together. All right, our people are waking up. Let's see, again, back to 17. God, this thing is sensitive, Salaki. All right. 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, all right, nor speakest to warn the wicked, but his blood will I require at thine hand. And this is what we don't want, all right. 19, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. All right, so the blood is off our hands. So you want to continue to go out there and, you know, just be degenerate? Hey, what happens is on you. Hey, we've done our part. All right, back to the video.
How we deal with justice in the black community, how we deal with justice for children who are black, who traditionally, historically, have been treated more harshly, systematically more harshly under our system. Treated as adults when they're just children.
Yep.
Studies have shown black girls in schools, young girls in schools, elementary age girls in schools get treated far more harshly than their...
Another prime example. All right, let's bring this up. For those of you that remember, I mean, not that you were old enough to be there, some might be, all right, but if you remember this young man, there was a movie, oh man, the late, damn it, he's passed away last year, damn it, Lou Gossett Jr., a movie that I think he was, you know, it was loosely based on this. In the movie, he was a Green Beret, and he came back. I believe it was his brother that this happened to, and in the movie, and I can't remember the name of the movie. Damn it. But anyway, look what he did. He was 14. All right, wrongly executed because they say he. Let's get the story here. Let's see. Of supposedly murdering 2 white girls, 11-year-old Betty June Beneker and 8-year-old Mary Emma Timms. All right, in his hometown of Alcalá, South Carolina. All right, he was tried, convicted, and sentenced to death on a single day in 1944, and then executed by electric chair on June 16, 1944, after Governor Olin D. Johnston refused to grant him clemency. 14 years old. They don't see you. That's his point that he's trying to make. They never saw you as a child. All right, and then this bitch that was appointed by Trump, all right, right here, she was brought in. Now we need to get more severe penalties, but again, you jakes think everything is for shits and giggles, all right, and not realizing these people fucking hate you. So go ahead, you know, and borrow a line from my man in Training Day, you know, take all right, take your little baby nuts around the corner, you know, you think you know so much. So again, I for one don't feel sorry for you.
Their white counterparts because they're perceived as more in control or more dangerous of their action. It's racism run amok in the United States just about at every level. And it always comes down on blacks in this country.
And what is that known as? Something else? Hold on. What's that term? Damn it. Where the racism is built into the very fabric. I can't remember the term right now.
Finishing the article, the decision will...
Institutional racism. There you go.
Almost certainly outraged Trump, who celebrated what he described as his administration's crackdown on crime. Washington, D.C. will soon be great again, he wrote on Truth Social. Now, the right wing, typically, expectedly, it's not a shock, it's not a surprise that the Trump taint sweat aficionados are out there on Twitter sounding the alarm about how unbelievable this is, that this judge needs to be removed, and making threats of, welcome, I'm introducing you to this person to go harass. We're already seeing threat levels against federal judges and other officials like this off the charts, where people are sending pizza orders to their homes just kind of as a message that we know where you live. This is just one more of those. Here is, again, Trump taint sweat aficionado Nick Sortor breaking. Biden judge Kendra Briggs has just ordered the release, in all caps, of the youths.
Oh, that really got him pissed off. You know what they're calling her. You just know. You.
In quotes. Remember the thing I just said? Black girls in elementary schools are considered adult or more old or more mature or more dangerous than they are. This is an extension of that. Calling this black 15-year-old boy and this black 15-year-old girl kids, children, quote unquote youths. Do you mean that they're actually adults? Why put it in quotes? Nick Sortor? Were you confused because the aroma of Donald Trump's Grundle butter got a little bit under the nose and you got distracted for a second? You thought they were adults? Is that what happened, Nick? You racist fucking ghoul? The youths, quote unquote, who attempted to murder big balls in the streets of D.C., these delinquents need to be taken into federal custody, if possible.
Now do you understand how valuable the press is to him? He just, hold on, let me run it back.
Federal custody was... See, these delinquents need to be taken into federal custody, if possible. Federal custody? Was there a federal crime? Or was it a misdemeanor? They have no business, all in caps, on the streets of D.C. They attempted to murder Big Balls.
I was going to say, yeah, this reminds me, if anybody ever heard the book, I've got it. It's called 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsberg. And I believe it came out in 67 or 68. Anyway, he talks about, well, it's just a book or a collection thereof of newspaper articles that were written that told of lynchings, and you can see how much the press played a big part. You know, how they described Jake as this brute or whatever, you know, language like that, raped so-and-so or robbed so-and-so, and, you know, these mobs, you know, to stir them up, and how it led to or played a part in, you know, Jake receiving little to no justice at all, just basically summary executions, you know. And then they find out that the person was totally innocent, but it's too late. But the press riled them up.
Grown man, Nick Sartor, dipshit. It wouldn't be a Republican outrage session without Gunther Eagleman. It's like these people. Anyway, this is what he tweeted. Meet Biden appointed. Again, meet. Oh, I'm putting this person on your radar. Go harass him. Meet Biden appointed DEI judge. He means black. He says DEI because he doesn't feel comfortable enough. He's not a bold enough racist to just use the N-word. Gunther Eagleman. Meet Biden appointed DEI judge Kendra Briggs. This political hack has released the violent youth attackers that beat Doja's Big Balls from juvenile custody in D.C. She needs to be removed. Under what mechanism would you remove this judge? This Biden-appointed judge? This presidentially appointed, Senate-confirmed judge, Gunther Eagleman? How would you remove her? Do you understand the processes? Do you understand what authority you would need to do so? Or are you just firing off nonsense on Twitter? You coward dipshit. You anonymous. Now, we know who the guy is now, but this is an anonymous dipshit on Twitter with a fake name. Very bold, very brave these conservatives are to attack children. Youths. Anyway, what?
Nothing new. This is the way it's always been, whether it's Republican or Democrat. They both are two wings, you know. They belong to the same foul bird, and that's what our people don't understand. It doesn't matter. All right, you for the last 60 years have been on that Democrat plantation, and they gave you absolutely nothing. Nothing of substance. Now that you're asking for reparations, now that you're asking for something as a restorative aim to it, all right, you can't have that, because that was the intent all along. How dare you want to be self-sufficient? Why do you think they burned and destroyed all our towns, or they made them lakes? Every time, without fail. Yeah. How about that? So these are you know, the children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren of those, just put up the information on all those that are in Congress that directly benefited from their families who had us as slaves, all right, and still enjoy those fortunes to this day. Yeah, like Biden. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Amy Barrett on the Supreme Court. Her family own our people. That's just two off the top of my head. All right. That still enjoy the fruits. All right. Yeah. So that's going to do it. I mean, let's see what little else he's got here.
What do you think? I would appreciate your feedback in this. We can talk about it in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it, and you can call the voicemail line, 7.
Let's check out some of these comments, and then I'll shut it down here. Republicans seem to have a hard time telling an adult from a 15-year-old. Big Balls should be ashamed that he was beaten up by a 15-year-old girl. Personally, I wouldn't have had the balls to report that. I like what they did there. The fact that it was a 15-year-old girl is just too rich. Hang the people that punched someone but let Rittenhouse off for murder. What the fuck? It says, but Rittenhouse runs free. Big Balls shot his mouth off and she punched him in it. Big deal. When the felon-in-chief pardoned all the criminals of January 6th, even the ones who were convicted of beating officers, they lost all credibility with being the party of law and order. There you go. All right. So, in other words, an underage girl hit a Republican adult male. All right, so there you go. That's going to be it for this video. More than made my case, I do believe. Now, if I remember to put the links to these other videos in there. Oh my goodness, why did this come? Been happening lately. I don't understand it, but anyway, I need to get me another. Oh God, dang it! All right, I'll remember to put the links in there. All right. Republicans are flipping out. Yeah, no shit. Oh, it just, they expose how wicked they are, and they return, and everybody's seeing it. It's just a joke. They've become a joke. Both parties, really. So with that, once again, I hope whoever views this is edified. And once again, remind you to be circumspect out there, all right? Be wary of your surroundings. It's very important, especially in these days that we're in now. So with that, until the next video, shalom.